LCARA Ham Radio presents a Time Machine Tuesday vintage video release.
Welcome to Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association. You can find us at LCARA.net, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. If you're enjoying the videos we're producing here at LCARA, please help our club out by hitting that subscribe button. Also, give us some feedback on our videos. Click the like button, share with anybody who may find it interesting, and be sure to hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified of the next video release. Do I want radios in my car? Do I want amateur radios in my car? UHF, VHF, HF radios in my vehicle? I think I do, but I would like to maybe do a little bit of a neater job than I have occasionally seen and even occasionally done myself with certain things in my vehicle. Hello folks, this is Chris, KY4CKP, and this video is just going to roughly go over the installation process that I've gone through and some of the thought process I've gone through over the last few months actually, but in particular here the last week or so. Putting some HF amateur radios, UHF, VHF radios in my vehicle, and some of the thought process I had for why I decided I wanted to do this, and some about how I'm going to use them. So hang with me, and we will go over the process, try not to have it take too long, and demonstrate the effectiveness of it towards the end. So stick around, and we'll get things started here in the next segment. All right, so starting a few months ago, folks, I decided to put radios in my car, actually maybe a year ago, with a UHF, VHF radio. You can see the little guy sitting there in the center of the console. But a few months ago, I decided to add HF radio to my vehicle. I wanted to test it out. I wanted to see if I really wanted it there, if I thought I would use it. I do travel regionally for work, and sometimes I spend 6, 8, 10 hours in the car. And so I thought, well, yeah, that might be interesting. I had an Echolink DX S8RT with a removable head, and I had an antenna that I could to work onto the back of the vehicle. And so I put that in place and have used it a little bit over the last few months. And it actually worked quite well. Had some nice DXs with it and some regional US contacts and things. But all the components were kind of big, maybe a little bit clunky. The Linko's not a bad radio. It's got that really big head, but that's the problem. It has a really big head. Big screen, nice. Really big head, maybe not as nice. And I decided I wanted to do something a little bit different, so that's what's coming up next. So once I decided I wanted to move forward with having HF radio in my car full time, I did decide to upgrade the radio. Decided to get another FT891, Yaesu FT891. They're very nice little radios and not really that expensive, about $550. So I got another one of those, which is still a good size screen, but as you can see, overall a much smaller head, removable head. And I got the separation kit for that one. So this is what I'm going to use. I also decided to pair it up with the Yaesu ATOS 120 Alpha, ATAS, automatic antenna tuning system. And it works very nice from the radio. This radio can work with the ATOS antennas, and it makes it a lot more convenient and nicer to work with, and everything is smaller. The antenna is smaller, the radio head is smaller, still 100 watts, and you can see a picture of the antenna on the back of the car there. So we're going to talk about a little bit on the installation, a little bit about what I did. It's not the greatest job in the world, but it's reasonably neat, and I think it's working out pretty well for me so far. Made some cool contacts already. All right, so as we can see in this conglomerate of pictures here, cable management is obviously always going to be an issue, especially with an installation like this because of the remote head, the remote kit. You've got several wires that are going to be going, in my case, from the back of the vehicle towards the front, or from underneath your seat to the console. And so I wanted to do a pretty good job on this. So I bought some equipment, bought some zip ties, bought some some split loom conduit and things like that to try to make the install a little bit nicer. And as we'll see, it turned out pretty well, I think. So again, folks, here's just a short video clip I took, just kind of showing the partial process. You can see wiring coming from the back, coming up into the dash. It's kind of all over the place. But I did take the time. You can kind of see the green tape in there. I did make my own little fish so that I could work the wires up in there and end up with generally a pretty decent job on that stuff. So part of the project was to do bonding and grounding of the components. The hood, the hatch, I'm probably going to do the doors. I'm doing the horizontal surfaces first and the hatch because that's where the antenna is mounted. So you can see some of the straps I've put in place there. The radio is grounded to the frame. Also, I created a little copper lug that I could put on the antenna mount itself out of a copper fixture I just got at Lowe's. Beat it into shape and put it on there and drilled it out. And I'll be covering that up with some rubber tape and some liquid tape and things to help make it more waterproof. So these kinds of steps are necessary and they help reduce your noise footprint. I've got a little more work to do, but it's working well so far. Folks, I just wanted to touch on something briefly. One of the issues people have had with the ATOS and these types of antennas over the years is they end up without having proper bonding and grounding. And if you don't get really good bonding and grounding, the radio is not going to be able to work the antenna correctly. So far mine's working pretty well. I think I've done a reasonably good job, but you really want to pay some attention to that and do a pretty good job so you can get functionality out of the antenna the way you would expect. So here's a short clip showing the tuning process for the ATOS 120 and a Yaesu radio. You hit the tune button, it starts to automatically adjust the screwdriver portion of the antenna, and you should end up with something less than 1.5 to 1 SWR. Sometimes I'm completely flat on the band, it just kind of depends of course, but it's been working quite well so far. Okay, we've got the radio tuned up. So I've got a couple of relatively short clips of some contacts I made with the setup so far. One of them, I was very fortunate, happened to catch another mobile unit in Mexico, and he and I had a contact. It's not a great connectivity, but we were able to hear and understand each other and pass our signal reports. So that was kind of cool. In fact, that might be my first contact to Mexico. I don't normally hear from them too often, it seems like. And then I had another contact from a gentleman just up near Illinois, and he was very strong. So a couple of quick contacts here, and then we'll wrap things up.
Mobile, Kilo Yankee 4, Charlie Kilo Papa, mobile. Kilo Yankee 4, Charlie Kilo Papa, Charlie Kilo Papa, mobile station. Kilo Papa, is that correct? It's Charlie Kilo Papa, Charlie Kilo Papa. Charlie Kilo Papa, Charlie Kilo Papa. You are in 555 with me. I use my own mobile station. Roger, Roger. You're about 5353 here in Central Kentucky, Central Kentucky. Drop down, so thank you for coming back to my call, and I'm looking forward to catch you again. 70 days and good luck. Roger, Roger, Alberto. You were 53 Central Kentucky, 53 Central Kentucky, 73. Thank you, 73.
Hey, Whiskey 9 Kilo, Kilo. W9KK calling 40 and listening.
Kilo Yankee 4, Charlie Kilo Papa, mobile.
Kilowatt Yankee 4, Charlie Kilowatt Papa Mobile. W9KK, thanks for the call and good afternoon. My name is Cliff, Charlie London, Italy, Fox. Cliff is the name. I'm located near Chicago, about 60 miles, about 1 hour south of the Chicago. KY4, CKP Mobile, W9KK.
Yeah, Cliff, good to find your call here. I'm actually just doing some quick testing on my mobile unit. It's a Yaesu FT891 paired up with an ATOS 120 alpha antenna, and you're coming in about 10 over 9.
So I was just doing some quick testing, heard you calling CQ, thought I would come back to you. This is Chris, Charlie Hotel, Radio India Sierra.
Yeah, Chris, real good, Chris. Well, you're doing a good job here. No doubt about it. In Mobile. Good, very nice indeed. You're 5 and 7 to 8, 5, 7, 5, 8, Chris.
All right, folks. So we're going to wrap it up for this this particular video. HF mobile may not be for everybody. It certainly doesn't have to be. Neither does UHF or VHF for that matter. But it can be a lot of fun if you spend any time in your vehicle. If you go camping, which I also do, hiking and things like that. If you're out and in your vehicle, it can be a lot of fun. Take some time. Any kind of an install like this, take some time. Do a halfway neat job of it. Pay attention to things like bonding and grounding, and you should be able to have a good experience with it. Have a lot of fun. But of course, being mobile as opposed to maybe just portable, be safe as well. Always try to be safe with whatever we're doing in the vehicle, but it can be a lot of fun. So this is Chris, KY4CKP, for Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association, 73.